Here we are.
Here we are. No introduction needed. Today, since Spider-Man No Way Home just came out in theaters, since we just watched it, we decided to do a tier list of what we think.
All those Spider-Man movies.
So what just occurred to me is we're gonna have to agree, and so we're
Oh,
gonna
God.
we're gonna
All
compromise, and so
Yeah, we are.
because we have a couple of different opinions. So I think we can just jump into it.
Okay.
First on the list is Spider-Man 1. I'm going
This-
to put it in C for now, but we'll... so what do you think about Spider-Man 1?
I feel that this is clearly at least an A tier movie.
You think it's an A tier?
At least.
Okay. I think...
It may be his big nostalgia factor for me, though.
Okay. I can put it in the A tier for now. I think...
now?
Well, it's got to be comparative to what we put in the other tiers. So... But I think I agree, because Willem Dafoe
Yeah.
was... I mean, such a classic villain as the Green Goblin.
He's definitely my favorite one growing up.
Yeah.
And it was, like, probably one of the most best type... not type, but cast member.
Yeah. I don't think that... See, I think... Yeah, I agree with you, because I don't see anybody else ever being the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
I think before we continue with this, we should say there's going to be spoilers for every single Spider-Man movie that hit theaters. But this one came out 20 years ago, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got that one out of the way.
What now?
Spider-Man 2 isn't showing up, so we're going to go straight to Spider-Man 3. Where do you want to put Spider-Man 3?
I think you know where I want to put it.
You want to put it in F?
Yeah. Straight
Okay.
off the bat.
Okay, no. Nope. I'm not going F. It has to be at least... I want to put it in C.
No. This is far too high. There's too many villains. Nobody knows what's going on. Topher Grace was there.
Okay.
That wasn't good.
But it does the movie does exactly what it's supposed to. With Toby, he's supposed to make you cringe.
It would clearly be an S tier if it was based on how many memes came out of a single movie. But the fact that it would be an S tier if we were doing that should put it at a lower tier automatically.
Okay, but are you saying you do not enjoy watching the movie at all?
Not at all. But it is the last one out of every single one of them that I would ever voluntarily watch.
Okay, but we don't have to have anything in F. It doesn't have to be an F.
I just think that
You think it's an F?
Well, D, I could compromise with you, but
Okay, we're putting it in D for now. I think I can change your mind.
all I have to keep thinking about is Topher Grace, honestly.
Topher Grace is an unfortunate side effect of that movie.
He was just a rough Eddie.
Everything else about that movie is good. I love the Sandman. What?
Emo Toby.
Yes, because that's what's supposed to happen in that movie. It's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. Layla's gonna watch this and be like, this guy sucks.
Moving on.
Okay, next. These are in a whack order. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So, I'd say, here's why I am like, Spider-Man 3 needs to be a C tier, because I can't put Amazing Spider-Man 2 in an F, because I still enjoy watching it, right? But I don't feel comfortable putting it on the same tier as Spider-Man 3. You know?
I dislike them a very equal amount, so this feels good for me.
You do?
I do.
Okay, but Amazing Spider-Man 2
I have a lot of the same problems.
Okay, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is lower in the tier than Spider-Man 3.
That's
Can
fine.
you agree on that?
Okay.
Okay. Spider-Man Homecoming.
This should be maybe, I would say a B or an A tier. A or B.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm comfortable putting it in an A if you are. Do you think that's too high?
I think it should be B. There's a lot, like, out of that whole trilogy, that one's definitely not the best one.
No.
It's Probably my third favorite out of them, but
Yeah, I think you're right. Okay. Um, what I think, yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming is an interesting movie because it spends a lot less time. I mean, it spends more time on Peter Parker than it does on Spider-Man, and it's kind of symptomatic of Civil War. It leans on that movie a lot,
yeah.
I think, and Tony Stark as well. Um, I don't agree with the whole Iron Man Jr. thing, the people
No.
calling Tom Holland that, but I will. I not. I love Spider-Man: Homecoming, but as far as all the Spider-Man movies goes, the one that leans on Iron Man is not as good as some other ones. But it's a
Yeah.
good B. It's a good B tier movie.
It is.
You have any other thoughts?
Not particularly.
Okay. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
This is definitely an A tier movie, I would say.
Yes.
We've seen this one so many times, just
I-
so many times.
A while ago, I would have said S, but I have opinions about the S category.
Right.
So, that being said, I'm gonna skip the next
agree?
one on the list for now. Do we agree putting on Far From Home into the A
Yeah.
tier? Okay.
We finally agreed.
I think there's one scene in that movie that makes it deserving of the A tier alone, and that movie is just a good movie in
Of No
general.
Way Home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Far From Home.
Far From Home.
And it's the sequence where it's like when Spider-Man thinks Mysterio is Nick Fury, and there's that whole like psychedelic like hallucination sequence.
Yeah.
That is one of the best scenes in any Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
And
That's
I think
messed up.
actually I think I would put Spider-Man: Far From Home higher in the tier than Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Just because, yeah, because like this one also does the same thing, where it leans heavily on Spider-Man, or on Iron Man, but in the context of the greater MCU, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we have Spider-Man 2. What do you think? Are we gonna disagree on this one?
I don't know. I want to hear yours first this time.
I say S.
Yes, also me say yes.
S tier.
That was good English.
Alfred Molina is
Ooh!
the greatest
My
Doctor
favorite.
Octopus. That movie is the movie is my entire childhood. First of all, it knows what it's doing. It knows where it wants to go with its characters. I think the biggest. I mean, the whole original trilogy as a whole has some pretty corny dialogue, and I think that's this movie's
Well-
biggest weakness.
It's kind of just a product of its time, though.
Yeah,
A lot of movies were like that in the
Well,
early 2000s.
and it's also a symptom of Sam Raimi's kind of campy nature.
Yeah.
I say, having not seen any other Sam Raimi movie than Spider-Man, but I've read it and I can see it because you can tell filmmaker style from
Yeah.
watching a few of their movies. But yeah, I mean the whole story with Dr. Octopus in that movie, Peter and Otto's relationship.
Yeah.
They have great chemistry, and the scene on the bus where Peter's saving the bus, and that's just a contender.
It's such a good Spider-Man moment.
Yeah, contender for best scene in the Spider-Man series overall.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so next we have Amazing Spider-Man. I want to know what you think this should go before I say.
Maybe like C tier or B tier.
Yeah. I want to put it in the B tier.
Okay. I can live
I
with that.
lower than
Yeah,
Homecoming.
for sure.
I really like the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. I know I'm realizing now that I didn't put Into the Spider-Verse on this list, but
I was just thinking
but
that.
we can just make this a live action 1 tier list. If let me just say now, if it were on here, it would be an S, right?
Obviously,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Amazing Spider-Man. I know a lot of people have feelings about the 2 movies, and the second one is not a great movie. I enjoy it, but the first one, I feel like the characters, I feel like Emma Stone is the perfect Gwen Stacy, and I like the Lizard. A lot of people
I
didn't.
didn't like his CGI face.
No, his face in the new movie was a lot better than the original. They in the Amazing Spider-Man, they drew a lot from his original design, I think, and his original design is really goofy.
Yeah, that's true.
But the whole movie, I think, the reason why it's not higher for me is because I really don't like the story, the Peter's parents storyline. I think it's unnecessary.
Yeah. There are a ton of other arcs of Spider-Man where they don't touch on any of that are really, really, really good.
Well, and the thing about it is also that it's the movie focuses on it a lot, but it doesn't really affect the greater plot.
No, it's pretty unrelated.
They make it affect the greater plot, but if they took it away, it wouldn't make a difference.
Yeah.
And so, I've never been a really big fan of the comics where they touch on Peter's parents anyways. So, that's the reason why it's not higher for me.
Right.
It's still a good B, the movie, though.
Yeah.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, Spider-Man No Way Home. This movie, in my opinion, is one of the best Spider-Man movies that could ever be made. Putting it on above?
Yeah. Whoa.
Above Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Defend yourself.
Defend myself?
Yes.
Well, Toby's still in it, so that's really great.
Yeah.
Andrew's there. The 3 of them interacting with each other is one of the craziest things I've seen in my life. I've been a really big Spider-Man my whole life, and...
Spider-Man fan?
What did I say?
Said you've been a really big Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. A big fan my whole life. Dressed up every day when I was a little kid and everything. And
So did I.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just funky to see them all together like that. It was really, emotionally overwhelming.
I think...
which I don't really get from Spider-Man 2, other than the nostalgic factor.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's a bit of a controversial take, but not really. Spider-Man, I think everybody's favorite movie is Spider-Man 2, but No Way Home was just really good.
On the other hand, we should talk about this again in a year, when this movie is more than, 2 days old.
Yeah. But no. I don't know.
I'm just saying, same thing happened when Infinity War and Endgame came out.
We were having a conversation in the car earlier, and I was saying that I think No Way Home is a better movie than Avengers Endgame because it does a better job at focusing on its characters and tying up a storyline that's been happening for 20 years. I think that Endgame had a pretty impossible task of
It wasn't intentional. It's not like when they made the Tobey movies, they were expecting it to go all the way to Tom.
No.
It's not, that wasn't intentional. When they started Iron Man and Captain America and everything, they knew.
I don't think they knew.
They knew it was at least going to Avengers. It was a
Yes.
plan where the multiple movies are going to intertwinkle. That was not the intent of the Raimi movies.
No, you're right.
So I don't think that that's a fair argument to say it's 20 years in the making when it was kind of an accident.
The reason why it's fair is because they give each character closure in the perfect way, I think. There's
I'm
a
disagreeing with you.
Not disagreeing with me on the fact that it's a good movie, but you think Endgame is better?
I told you, I'm not...
Okay.
I need time. I need it to settle. I'm not just going to get excited and say this is the best one everybody's going to do right now.
Okay. Well, that's my opinion, anyways. Um, I think there's some scenes in this movie that just like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire do not feel shoehorned into this movie.
No,
They
they're really there.
Andrew Garfield, his performance is.
Probably better than both his other movies, honestly.
I think his performance is the best out of the 3 Spider-Men in that movie. I mean.
Yeah, he becomes more Peter Parker than he was in his movies, where he was kind of hipstery. I feel.
There's this great moment in No Way Home where Ned is like, and Peter, I promise you, I won't become an evil supervillain. And Andrew just is like,
Yeah!
that's like, little moments like that really make this movie.
Man.
And Tobey Maguire, there's this other moment where they're all talking about the villains they fought in their world. And Andrew, or Toby and Tom are like, yeah, we both fought like different kinds of aliens. And Andrew's like, oh man, I suck. Like I fought like a rhino guy. And Toby's like, hey, wait a minute. No, I want you to take that. You're amazing. Can
Yeah.
you say that to yourself. And he's like, no, not yet. No, got it. It's all good. I just needed to hear that. So moments like that are what make this movie amazing.
Yeah.
And I think.
Plus the villains coming back were just freaking excellent.
And I think for that reason, I'm confident in saying this is the best Spider-Man movie made yet.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Yeah.
I think that sums it up. I meant to put Spider-Verse on here,
It
but
would be on the end anyway.
it would be in the S tier. Maybe we'll do well. There isn't really an animated. It's an S tier. It's here. Look, whoa! It's on the list.
There it is now. Look at
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it.
That's our tier list.
I think we made some opinions that everybody else has, but it's okay. I think I think this list is gonna look like a lot of other people's lists.
Yeah.
But I think that's okay.
Fair.
Okay. That's it. Thank you for watching if you did.
Bye.
Bye. How did you feel about that?
I felt okay.
Yeah?
How did you feel about that?
I feel okay. I just like kind of having a conversation. I should turn the recording off on this.